This lesson is about dividing by binomials, which means there will be two terms in the denominator of the fraction. Before we do any of that, though, and get into algebra, let's work on some very basic arithmetic of long division. You'll see many similarities whenever we divide by binomials. So first, let's take a look at this division problem. We want to divide 1,093 by 4. So the first thing I'm trying to think about is what can I multiply the number 4 by to get as close or equal to, in this case, 10? Well, I know I can multiply by 2. That'll give me 8. But if I multiply by 3, I'm going to go over. So I'm going to go ahead and use 2. Off to the side here, let me keep track of what I'm doing. That's 8, so I'm going to subtract off the actual value and get 2. Our next step is to go ahead and bring down this number. This will create the number 29. And I'm going to repeat the process. I'm trying to think of what can I multiply 4 by to get as close as possible to 29 without going over. In this case, I can use 7, because 4 by 7 is 28. All right, once again, I'm going to bring down that next number and try to think about the same thing. What number can I multiply by 4 to get as close as possible to 13? That would be 3. Because 4 times 3 is 12. So I'll subtract it off. At this point, we could use decimals, but just in sticking with what we're going to see with algebra, I'm going to use a remainder. When we use a remainder, you can use the r or just make a fraction. It's a remainder of 1, or as an alternative, typically in math, we will use a fraction. So 273 1/4. This is the same process we're going to use for algebra when dividing by a binomial. So let's look at one of those. I want to divide x squared plus 5x plus 6 by x plus 2. So we're going to start by writing it like we just saw. The x plus 2 will go over here. And then I'll write x squared plus 5x plus 6 underneath this symbol. Okay, just like regular long division, you're trying to think about for this first term, what can I multiply x plus 2 by to get as close to x squared as possible? Well, in this case, just an x. Let me show you here off to the side, because remember that next step is subtraction, where I need to subtract off its exact value. Over to the side, I want to calculate exactly what x times x plus 2 is. With some distributing, we find that's x squared plus 2x. So I'm going to subtract that off. Now notice how I used parentheses, because it's really important that you subtract both. X squared minus x squared, that goes away, but then 5 minus 2x's is 3x. Let's bring down the next number. I want to repeat this exact same process. I'm trying to think about here with this x plus 2, what can I multiply this x plus 2 by to get as close as possible to 3x plus 6? Well, in this problem, it would be 3. Off to the side, let me go ahead and calculate exactly what that's going to be. 3 times x plus 2 is 3x plus 6. I'm going to subtract that off. And it looks like this one's really nice. We have a remainder of 0, which means x squared plus 5x plus 6 divided by x plus 2 is exactly x plus 3. All right, let's try some more so you can get comfortable with this procedure. Okay, in this one, I'm going to divide 2x squared minus 3x minus 20 by x minus 4. So first thing, we need to rewrite it. All right, I want to think about what can I multiply x minus 4 by, or just even plain x, to get 2x squared. We're going to need a 2x. So off to the side, I'm going to go ahead and figure out exactly what 2x times x minus 4 is. That's how you know what to subtract off. I got 2x squared minus 8x. We'll have to be really, really careful with the negatives. 2x squareds, of course, they go away. But then I'll have negative 3x minus a minus 8x, or negative 3x plus 8x, which is 5x's. All right, bring the negative 20 down. We'll repeat the same process, trying to think about what number I can multiply x minus 4 by to get 5x minus 20. That would be 5. The exact value of 5 times x minus 4 is 5x minus 20. Or a remainder of 0. So 2x squared minus 3x minus 20 divided by x minus 4 is exactly 2x plus 5, and no remainder. Let's work through one last one, and I'll pause a little bit more just so you can think about what values should go in each spot. Okay, let me set it up first. We're dividing 12x squared plus x minus 6 by 3x minus 2. Okay, so think to yourself, what could you multiply this 3x by to get 12x squared? Should be a 4x. Let me see exactly what that does. 4x times the 3x minus 2 is 12x squared minus 8x. Now the 12x squareds go away just like we wanted them to. But here I have 1x minus a minus 8x, or 1x plus 8x. That's 9x. Bring the negative 6 down. And think again. In this one, I'm trying to think, what could I multiply 3x minus 2 by to get as close to 9x minus 6 as possible? Should be 3. So let me see exactly what that equals. 3 times 3x minus 2 is 9x minus 6. With a 0 remainder. These worked out perfect. No remainder at all. 12x squared plus x minus 6 is perfectly divisible by 3x minus 2. You get an answer of 4x plus 3.